get to that. What is going on, YouTube? We are back, baby, from a long 10 or 11-day hiatus. We got the TikTok Live right here, as always. I just started, but no sales. That is because, let me ask you this, Gene. How many reviews do you have on your product? It's my famous question that anytime I see somebody say this, I ask them. And usually the answer is very telling. No reviews. Gene, how many times have you bought a product on Amazon that had 0 reviews? Probably never. So there you go. That's the answer to your question. You got to get reviews. I would definitely watch a lot of my content. I talk about how to get reviews, the importance of reviews, all of these different things. But yeah, reviews are a crucial part of selling on Amazon. And it's okay that you are where you are, Gene. Just one thing that I want to point out is that I probably see that same comment every single week that I go live, maybe potentially every day or every other day. And when I ask the question, that's usually the answer. I don't even start running ads until I have 10 to 15 reviews. And then from there, the more reviews you get, the better. You never, ever, ever stop pushing for reviews on your product. So reviews are one of the biggest driving factors to conversion. Now, if you're at like 40, 50 reviews and you're like, hey, my product's not converting, then that's a whole different thing. So, Gene, thank you so much for the follow. How can I get reviews on wholesale FBA review? You don't need to push for reviews on wholesale. It kind of defeats the whole purpose. If you're going to go push for reviews on a wholesale product, you're pretty much sharing those reviews amongst everybody else who's selling on that listing. That's why I think private label is the best business model. Because when I'm pushing for reviews, I'm pushing for reviews for my products, my account, my IP, not for other people to hop on the listing. Decided to set up the process in the US as I started only in Canada. Nice, Kate, let's get it. Time to put in the work, which I already know. I mean, you're always up in the lives. I know you're going to get it. So I love that. How do you push your brand out for it to be recognized? Amazon PPC ads, external traffic, making content for your product. How did you guys ever learn about Chick-fil-A, or how did you ever learn about Raising Cane's, or how did you ever learn about Apple or Nike or all the brands that you've ever seen? They probably ran ads. You probably heard word of mouth because they became such big brands. All of these things, all the things that you guys see other big brands do and how they caught your attention, that's likely how you do what you do. If you've ever bought a product on TikTok Shop, how did you recognize that product? Somebody was making content about it. Somebody ran an ad for that product. If you've ever shopped on Amazon, how did you find this brand? Because they pushed ads on Amazon to establish their organic rank. You either clicked on a sponsored ad or they were highly ranked and where they were somewhat on page 1 or the top of the page. It is a rinse and repeat process across the board. That's why I go and launch so many new products, because what worked for one product is likely going to work for another product. Simple as that. So you just got to, omnipresence is the key to any successful business. Obscurity is the key to not being successful in business. Obscurity being nobody knows. You could have the best product, the best everything, and if nobody knows it, it doesn't matter. You recommend supplements if there's strong marketing behind it? Nope. Supplements is going to cost you a bunch of money that doesn't need to be spent. If you find success on Amazon and you decide you want to go start a supplement brand and you have a bunch of capital behind you, then okay, maybe that's different. You have the experience, you know what to do. Okay, maybe you can go start supplements. But as a brand new seller, no. As a new seller, does having more inventory help? No. Start with 100 to 300 units, no matter what. Doesn't matter what anybody tells you. 100 to 300 units. When did you start selling on Amazon? January 2019. This account was created 4 years ago. Would you recommend personal care products that are not clinically approved or test? No, I wouldn't recommend personal care products. I have a very, very specific types of products that I'll go launch pretty much everything that's not like nowadays for new products, anything that's not a consumable, supplement, topical, anything that needs extra approvals outside of toys and games and baby products. Opinion on beauty niche. Nope, not a fan. One of the worst niches that you can launch on Amazon, in my opinion. You're going up against absolute behemoths, absolute giant of brands, Maybelline, Elf Cosmetics, whatever other makeup brands exist out there. No, 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 never, ever, ever. I did consulting. This makeup brand contacted me, and it was a very unique story. That's the only reason I decided to help them out. And I did consulting for them, and they did all right on Amazon. But even when they came to me, they had 1,000+ reviews on their listings or on their main product. I think it was like 1,000 and 2,000 because they had multiple different products like eyeliner, and then they had this, I don't know the makeup product, like the little pen thing that has the little brush at the end. I don't know. And even them, they struggled a lot because they were going up against brands that could, crush them like little ants. After your first product, did it take you long to start your second? Long is subjective because maybe to some people it was long. For me, no, because my very first product was a huge success. So I took that product from 10K top line revenue its very first month to 10K in net profit within 6 months. And I kept scaling and reinvesting into that product. I launched 2 new products by the end of 2019. I started selling at the beginning of 2019. So maybe to some people, from beginning of the year to end of the year is a while, but not necessarily. As a news, I answered that. What about T-brand? Nope, I don't touch consumables. Same thing. You're going up against absolute behemoths. Did you see blah, 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 software? It rated knife set A6, which is considered a great product, but as you know, knife set is super saturated. Here's the thing about softwares, you guys. I don't really pay attention to what other people do in the Amazon space, if I'm being honest. So I can't speak on it like that deeply. But what I do know is that if you're relying on a software to tell you that a product is a good product, it's not necessarily the move. I've said that for a long time. I've made videos about other creators where they're sitting there, their Jungle Scout software is telling them low competition, high demand. Meanwhile, the product has 5,000 average reviews and there's no new sellers under 200 reviews making 10K plus a month. So if you're not a low reviewed seller making a good amount of revenue, hopping in, or if there's no low reviewed sellers making a good amount of revenue, that's probably a good reference that you, a low reviewed seller who's starting with 0 reviews, even if you go and push for the 30 initial Vine reviews, then you're not going to be on page 1. Never rely on softwares. They look nice, they look flashy, they appeal to the masses because at the end of the day, everybody wants the easy route. They want Jungle Scout, or they want a new software to tell them, here's what you should sell on Amazon. But that's just not necessarily how Amazon works. Just like Lux, right? You said it great. You can't rely on a software. You got to cross-check. 100%, I agree. Do you recommend wholesale for beginners? No, I don't. Wholesale, it doesn't make any sense to go from wholesale to private label in the sense of learning. Same thing, wholesale costs just as much money as private label. So even though I don't recommend the business model, arbitrage would probably be your best bet, but just know that you're not going to learn anything from arbitrage that's going to carry over to your success on private label. I have so many students who come over from the arbitrage or wholesale business model because they realize that private label is better. I even have a student who is doing 100K a month, or is doing 100K a month in arbitrage, and they came over to private label, and they have to relearn everything. And imagine making 100K a month in a business, roughly net 10 to 20% margins. But imagine making 10, 20K in net profit a month on a business and being like, I don't like this business. I need to switch. Same thing, Samir. Wholesale for beginners doesn't make any sense. If anything, it would be arbitrage for beginners, but you're not going to learn anything for private label. And too many people are like, they fear private label because of all these arbitrage and wholesale sellers, what they try to make it seem like on the online. It's a load of nonsense. I've made this offer before. I'll make it again. We won't talk too much on it because I'm sure some people who are in the lives are sick of me saying this. Any arbitrage or wholesale seller that you guys find on the internet, tell them Luke Basha wants to have a debate with them on live. No cuts, no editing, nothing like that. We'll go on a YT or a TikTok live or both, and I'll debate the point of private label versus those other two business models. Not a single one of them will ever take me up on the offer. I've asked people, they've never confirmed, it's never happened. I've had my followers go in and ask people. It's never happened. Even the people who, if they're on live, I'll go into their live and be like, so when's the debate happening? And, while they're on live, because they want to save face, they're going to be like, oh man, yeah, we'll schedule it for this day. This day I'll DM you. Never get the DM. I've even sent DMs to these people and they'll just ignore my DMs. I'm willing to debate anybody on a business. They're not. I think that's very telling if you don't want your ideas to be challenged. I'd love all my ideas to be challenged. It will make me a better business person. Maybe I'll learn something new. Tips on talking. Oh, we'll get to that right now. Asing. I love this comment actually, but let me get to Zurilla's comment first. Tips on talking to suppliers. Contact at least 10 to 20 manufacturers. You have to be firm on pricing. Use... We'll get to that too, Jimmy. Hold on, guys. I got you guys. I get to everybody's question, so don't worry. But yeah, you want to also take the lowest quote that you get from one manufacturer, Zurilla, and then leverage that to other manufacturers as well. Like leverage that quote, if that makes sense. All right, so the homie here says PPC don't work. I love this comment because what it shows me is that you don't understand how PPC actually works. Also, this is a very emotional comment. Emotional being your PPC ads aren't working, so you project to everybody that PPC doesn't work. We spend tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on this account on PPC. Clearly, it works. Go watch my series 0 to 1 million, where I'm taking a brand new Amazon seller account from 0 to $1 million and documenting every step of the journey. You will see there, brand new account. PPC works. The reason why I think this comment is funny is because when somebody says that PPC doesn't work, it means that they're not converting on PPC. So they're getting a bunch of clicks. Excuse me. What is PPC ads? Sorry for all of the people who have been in my live and heard me say this, but I'm going to say it again. PPC is like a billboard. If I'm driving, let's say I'm driving to Vegas and I see a billboard for whatever, doesn't matter, and a restaurant, and I decide, man, that looks really good. I'm going to pull off the highway and I'm going to go to this restaurant. I go there, it looks grimy, the food doesn't look good, the environment's not good, and I'm like, you know what? I'm actually going to go somewhere else. The billboards did its job. It got me to pull off the highway. It drove traffic to the restaurant, quite literally, because in this scenario I'm driving. Drove traffic to the restaurant. Now, because I didn't choose to eat at the restaurant, that's not the billboard's fault. The billboard is a form of advertising, FYI. That's why I like to use this example. The reason I didn't eat at the restaurant was because the food, the environment, how it looked, it was grimy, right? PPC ads are the same exact thing. PPC, it doesn't say run Amazon ads and you will guaranteed to get sales. No, it's meant to drive clicks. Clicks are traffic. So when you get clicks, it is driving traffic to your listing. If you are getting clicks on your PPC ads, it worked. But the reason that you're not converting on those PPC ads is because your listing isn't good. You don't have reviews. Your product isn't good. Your differentiator isn't good. One of those things. So don't go and try and blaming PPC, the number one advertising model for Amazon sellers, thousands of sellers, hundreds of people who make a living off of Amazon, actually thousands of people who make a living on Amazon, and all are running PPC ads. It has nothing to do with PPC. has everything to do with your product, your offer, your listing, and your reviews. So PPC 100% does work, my friend. Amazon FBA, yes, that is what I do, Jacob. Jimmy says, bro, I have people that come to me saying they were told to run ads without reviews. Pretty known mentorship too. It's hilarious. Yeah, man, at the end of the day, I've said this before, Jimmy, all information is not created equal. It's very unfortunate that you see stuff like this, because just like, I mean, hold on, let me pin this comment. This isn't to pick on anybody, but I want to pin this comment right here. So Gene, earlier in the live, some of you may not have been here, was saying, I'm not getting sales on my product. I said, how many reviews do you have? Look at the comment, no reviews. More often than not, people who do not get reviews are going to be in a scenario like this. So to tell people, oh, don't run PPC ads unless or without any reviews, it makes zero sense. It's actually terrible advice. And anybody who says that, I would argue, doesn't know what they're talking about when it comes to Amazon. I have had products before where, let's say we had, actually, no, it's hardly ever with 0 reviews, but I did have a product where we only had 4 reviews. We didn't have any ads up yet. And we made like $2,500 in a week in top line revenue with 0 ads. That's the anomaly. That's like the 1 in a million. More often than not, you have to get reviews on Amazon. And to your point, Jimmy, I mean, these people who are sitting there recommending, oh, run ads before you have any reviews, I guarantee they've never bought a product on Amazon with 0 reviews. So if you've never bought a product on with 0 reviews, then why do you think other people will? What profit margin on that? 40% after everything. Get clicks and get paid. Got to convert, but 100%. I'm shocked by how many people from that mentorship come to me and ask me for help. You don't have to dox which one it is, Jimmy. We're not here to like talk. I don't know which one you're talking about. We're not here to throw anybody under the bus. If you want to say it, go ahead. But yeah, man, not all information is created equal. Hi, cannot see any more cost per click on helium-10 magnet. Try clearing your cache, because I was just using it today and I saw it. Samir, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, if you're not converting on your ads, you should look at your main image or 2 low reviews. Those are the top 2 things that I look at, Jimmy. I've even made a video about it. I honestly put them both at the number 1 position, main image, reviews. What, 3 million, what the heck do you sell? That account is health and household. Sandeep, thank you for the follow, bro. You have the same number all the time. I love when people come in and say this. Number 1, bro, I actually update this every single month. So this is from end of June last year to end of June this year. If you pop in my live in August, then you're going to see a different number. But yeah, maybe ask instead of assume. In fact, I can literally change the screenshot right now, because obviously I have the screenshot saved from all of the previous months I've gone live, where you'll actually see this number change. It's been at 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. Sandeep, I think I already said this, but again, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Should I have my logo and inserts finalized before I get a sample? Sample is currently in production. Not for your sample, no. You're one of the only ones who keeps it transparent and very thorough with everything. I appreciate that, Jimmy. That's been my North Star ever since I started creating content. That's the reason why I created content. I don't like this era of, this has nothing to do with anybody specific or anything like that, but I don't like this era of like flashy, let me sell you the business model. What I do believe in is, let me tell you, if you're interested in the business model, let me tell you solid information about that business model. I could care less if any of you, respectfully, if any of you ever go start Amazon FBA. But for those who do, and I know there's people in this live who are interested and are trying to learn, that's why I do these lives. That's why I make videos. And I will give you the best information to my knowledge and to my power on that business model. But I'm not here trying to be like, you have to do this business model. It's the only one out there that works. No, drop shipping works. Owning a restaurant works. A construction business works. Being a dentist works. Like all of these things work. There's no such thing as oversaturated. There's no such thing as the best business model. Now I'm biased. So yeah, I think Amazon's one of the best business models. But if somebody came in here, like it's actually happened. People come in and they're like, bro, should I start drop shipping? The answer is like, well, if you want to start drop shipping, I don't listen to some dude on the internet about what business model you should do. What's your strategy when launching new products in Q4? Same strategy as if I was launching a product in Q1, Q2, Q3. Just be prepared for probably higher advertising cost per clicks. Yeah, they're asking me, should I just do it to gather data? I was like, you're just going to burn money? Yeah, 100%. And that's good advice, Jimmy. Good on you for saying that to people. No, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to hit on anyone. Yeah, respect, bro. What's your sale price for this item? So this account was started like 4 years ago. I had different criteria than I use today. And we launched this product in just like a different time of Amazon. So average ticket price is like $12.99. We also have a huge brand for this product. Like one of our variations alone has like 19,000 reviews or something like that. Let me actually double check for you guys. I'm not going to show you my product, but tell you how many reviews we have on one of the variations. Oh, I was wrong. Sorry. 14,000 reviews, not 19,000. Yes, a lot of people now are just trying to sell the lifestyle. Yeah, man. And I really like the Hormozy guideline. You know what I mean? Not guideline, but, way of doing things. I don't want you to buy anything from me. I don't want you to follow me. I don't want you to think that I'm that guy because of the car that I drive or the watch that I have. Like the thing, and unless you're a car person, then that's awesome. Go show the cars. Like that's cool. If that's what you enjoy. Like I like to travel. I have a travel page, right? I'm not sitting here trying to flex all the things of traveling. It's just what I enjoy to do, and I want to make content about it. But in terms of my business account, if you are going to follow me, if you were to join my mentorship, if you were to watch my free content that I have, you don't need to join the mentorship. I want it to be for the information that I provide. And those were the people that I learned from. I never once watched somebody that had to do with Amazon who was sitting there like trying to show the wild lifestyle and all the materialistic things they have. I had people where, okay, here's a video on how to get brand registered. Here's a video on how to run your PPC ads. I would go to conferences. When I would go to these conferences, the speakers weren't like, showing slides of their supercars or their Rolexes or whatever. They were teaching me things. Also, everyone, don't worry. I'm going to get to everyone's question. I go line by line. Is it okay that my product's packaging is just a brown box with black direct print to start? Yeah, as long as your differentiator is good. And I mean, it really depends. Like if you're selling like a water bottle, I think that's totally okay. If you're selling like a toy or game product, maybe custom packaging is a little bit more important, but you could still probably get away with it in early orders. Hi, I got my first product from the manufacturer. Do I have to get manufacturer's barcode or FNSKU from Amazon is enough? FNSKU from Amazon. Why is product research so difficult at the beginning? How can you fail fast and pivot? Well, it's a numbers game, Zurilla. So, if you only look at 10 products, you might think, oh man, it's so hard. I've looked at so many products. I could look at 10 products in 30 minutes, maybe less. So it's a numbers game. You sit down, you spend a few hours doing product research. If you do product research right, I have videos on my TikTok and my YouTube on how to do this, how I analyze products. And if you're able to look at a product within 1 to 3 minutes, I think 3 minutes is too long. I would honestly say like 60 to 120 seconds. If you're able to analyze products that quickly, then you're going to be able to look at a lot of different products. Also, I'm not spending my time looking at certain products like supplements or electronic products or clothing products or rugs or electronic. I think I already said electronics, but I'm not even spending my time analyzing those products. So when I know what to kind of sift through, then it saves me a lot of time. Does package matter when launching a new product? It really depends. If you have more of a giftable product, I think it would matter a little bit more. If you're just selling something standard, like, I would never sell these, but like a water bottle, scissors, a stapler, whatever, I don't really think that your packaging matters too much. I've ordered my samples for Amazon FBA while I'm waiting to confirm my bulk samples in bulk order. Let's go, Alexandra. That's what I love to hear. Actually taking action. At the end of the day, I respect anybody who's actually taking action rather than spending all of their time learning and learning and learning and learning and learning and then doing nothing about it. If you are the type of person who and I don't think there's many people in this live, so don't think that I'm talking to anyone. I see some familiar faces, and I know some of y'all are putting in the work, like Panagodius, nobody, Alexandra just said so. So again, not talking to any of you guys, I'm just making a general statement. But if you're the type of person who just learns and learns and learns, and you'll never take action on what you learned, that time might as well have been spent watching Netflix, really. Because you're just, what are you going to do with all this information that you do nothing about? I'm going to go read a book on how to play football and then never step out onto the field? Do you think most of the gurus are scam? I think it's very hypocritical for me, somebody who has a mentorship, to answer this question, but I'm going to answer it anyways. Just know that I know that it's hypocritical. But yes, I do. I do honestly think that. I could name the creators that I would actually go and buy something on one hand, buy something from. I mean, I've made videos going over, like reviewing other Amazon sellers' videos. Like, I think 99% of the arbitrage and wholesale community are a bunch of shills. I think there's maybe, I'd say 95% of the private label community, especially on TikTok. I think YouTube, you can get a little bit more valuable information from people. But I think that like 95% of the private label community are a bunch of shills. I mean, go watch some of my videos where I review other Amazon sellers' vids. They'll sit there and tell you this is a good product to sell because it gets views. If I started making videos, this is a good product to sell, this is a good product to sell, because people want the easy route. What up, Muhammad, on the YT live? Because those videos are the easy route, and they're obviously going to get more views, I would be a much bigger creator. Like, I understand the game, you guys. I understand that if I went and got a supercar and flashed my Rolexes and made videos that I don't think actually were going to provide value, but were flashy, I'd be at 100K followers right now. But it's like, I want to make content where it's like, okay, here's what to do. Yeah, I have a mentorship, but newsflash, none of you have to get it. It's for those who want a more in-depth guide and direct access to me. I value my time. So yeah, I'm going to charge for my time and all of the things that I've built. It's not even just a course. I invest a lot of money. Just our AI system alone that I created, that was thousands of dollars to build. I'm not charging my students for that. That's free for all of my students. So I really do. My goal was always to create something of value, but most people are just trying to get a quick buck. That's not everybody, by the way. I'm not trying to say I'm the only good Amazon creator / seller. No, there are good ones out there. I learned from some of these good ones. Again, not so much on TikTok. It was mainly on YouTube. But yeah, I think most people are shills. After you receive your samples, what are the next steps you should do before launching? You definitely want to compare the samples from the manufacturers that you got. You want to make sure that you have a good differentiator. You don't need to get a sample with your differentiator. Samples are really to test the quality of the product. And from there, just continue to negotiate. I'll still negotiate after I receive samples from a manufacturer. Pick the best quality one, negotiate, create your mock listing to make sure that the product doesn't need any extra approvals, and then off to the races. Do you have a guide for product authenticity complaints? My seller account of 682K a year is at risk now. So there are these services, like I can't remember the names of these services, but there are services that'll charge you like $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, and they claim that they have inside information. I'll get to that 1 second, Hanto, on the YouTube live. I'll get to the YouTube live comments in 1 second. And they claim that they have these like direct access to, higher up people in Amazon. We've used some of them because we bought, we drank the Kool-Aid, we believed it. And then these guys ended up coming to us and saying like, oh no, we just use these external emails. So I'm going to do something that I've never done before on the live, but I'm going to do it for you guys right now. Hold on. I have to find it in my notes really quickly. I'm going to give you guys, literally just give you guys the emails of where these guys charge like thousands of dollars, but they're considered external Amazon support or escalated seller support contacts. So the first one is jeff@amazon.com. The second one is dherring, HERRING @amazon.com. And then the third one is dharmism, HARMESM @amazon.com. Try reaching out to those. We've actually found some success in doing that. I found a product similar to the arm twister you made a video about. The search volume threw me off. It may be a trending product. Hey, bro, we listening. I appreciate all of you. Net, let's go. Are you talking about me? No, pizza, not talking about you. I'm taking action, but there's a lot of downtime, so I just watch content in the meantime. And that's what I did. As long as you're taking action, it kind of drives me crazy when there's people who are like, I'll see them. And again, I don't think it's anybody who's currently in the live right now. I'm just speaking generally. A lot of action takers in here. But when people are like, oh, bro, how do I appreciate it, bro. Y'all don't need to send gifts on TikTok. I don't make money from TikTok. I don't withdraw money from TikTok. So keep that money in your pocket. But they're sitting there asking me like, bro, how long until I make 100K a month? How long until, what happens if my ads don't convert? I'm like, have you even found a product? They're like, no, I haven't even started step one. What are we doing? Let me get to these YT comments real quick. What is the problem with selling generic product? Why not to sell? I mean, you always want to differentiate a product. If you're selling something that everybody else sells, making no iterations to it, adding no value, then people are going to shop based on who has the most reviews and the lowest price. You're never going to have either of those. Thoughts on FBM? It's not for me. I'd rather have Amazon do the work. Plus, when you compare FBM versus FBA, a lot of people are like, FBA fees, but you still have to pay for storage or store the products. You still have to account for your time to pick, pack, and ship the products. And then you also have to pay for the shipping. It's Handle Brother. How are you? Somebody created a fake account of yours and added me. Yeah, I'm never going to, I appreciate all of you, but I'm never going to follow you guys. I'm never going to message you first. Literally in my TikTok bio, it says I don't message first. So be careful of any fake accounts. They get pretty creative. Put Luke Basha, but the Basha has 2 S's and like some people don't look. What up, bro? What up, Alex? Yes, I have some to compare, but I meant next steps to Amazon. Yeah, you want to create a mock listing, Alexandra, and then make sure that you dial in your differentiator. If my landed cost of goods are 10 to 20 and I'm selling my product for $34.99, am I in a good spot? Best way to check this, Panagodius, is use the Amazon revenue calculator. Put in your cost of goods, put in your shipping, put in your dimensions, put in your selling price, and it'll give you a full breakdown of what your net profit is. How much money you made so far from this business and how long it took you? I mean, 7+ figures. I've been doing it for 6 years. How do you product research to find good products? I use Helium 10's black box tool. Yo, you sell info. I mean, I give away free info for those who want a direct access to me. Um, I do have the mentorship, but I don't know if you've noticed, we've been live for 35 plus, actually 40 minutes, and I've only very briefly talked about the mentorship. Every single other thing that I've said is answering every question line by line. Can you give me some money for college, bro? Sorry, bro, I'm not Bank of America or Bank of Egypt. Good to know. Thank you. Do you recommend getting your own freight forwarder inspection service? I use my own. Like my inspection company will. One of my students had an order of 200 units. They were comparing ours to like Alibaba's, and Alibaba will charge you, I think it's like 200, and they'll inspect 10 units, and it's not even a full inspection on those 10 units. With our inspection company, they would inspect 32 units out of those 200. Or no, yeah, 32. It's based on AQ level 2 inspection quality. And then also with my freight forwarder, I haven't seen a freight forwarder that beats our rates. I'm nervous to purchase the mentorship program because what if the mentor steals my product? Well, I can't speak for other people, Alexandra, but it's kind of an honor system thing. I think not everybody has honor, but I do product selection for my students, and I have a lead list of literally hundreds. I've made videos showing not showing the products, but showing the numbers on our Google Excel sheet, hundreds of products that meet the criteria. There would be no need for me when I'm the one giving students products. So I don't know if you're talking about my mentorship. Again, I can't speak for other people, but yeah, we have quite enough products. We don't need to steal any other people's products. Number one. Number two, I think that's just a lack of honor. And your reputation is everything. You only have one reputation. Once it's tarnished, it's gone forever, no matter what. You might find new people to bring into the ecosystem, but all of the OGs and stuff like that, they'll just never trust you again. And good business is built on the foundation of trust. But that's why I call my mentorship the Harvard of Amazon FBA private label education. I used to not like to call it a course. Now I don't even like to call it a mentorship. I just call it an Amazon ecosystem. We build things that 99% of people would never think about because they're just trying to grab people's money and go. Do you need to have a registered business? No, you can start as a sole proprietor. We've been doing private label for 5.5 years, wholesale 3 years. It's refreshing to see a humble creator now. I appreciate that, my friend, and God bless you and congrats on your success. Obviously, you've had to have success if you've been in the game for 5.5 years, right? So that's awesome. And yeah, God's plan. Sometimes I have my moments. I'm human, but there's no reason for me to act like I'm better than anybody because when I just know who I was when I started my journey. I wasn't the man. I don't think I'm the man now. I've just learned a lot and experienced a lot and failed a lot and succeeded with those failures after those failures. So, again, if any of you knew me before I started selling on Amazon, not a single one of you would have bet on me to be successful. The people who bet on me were my mom, my best friend whose couch I was sleeping on, my two cousins who were my mentors when I started selling on Amazon. I guess I'll throw him in there. My dad, we'll just throw him in there because I don't think he ever doubted me. And my other cousin, who's like my brother. We're 3 years apart. Outside of that, there was nobody who was betting on me. I was the party kid. I was going to the raves. I was going on benders, all of these things. So it's like for me to think now that I've gotten success, that I'm better than anybody when I started from rock bottom would be kind of silly. The insert card is something good to do, or it's not changing anything for reviews. I mean, it could help, but you just need to make sure that you follow Amazon's guidelines. You can't ask for positive reviews. Congrats, man. Yep, same to you, brother. I appreciate it. Ambitious, thank you so much for the follow. Do I have to purchase your mentorship program to gain access to the inspection service and freight forwarder? Yes, that's exclusive to my students. That's why I call it an ecosystem, Alexandra, because I created product selection. I created the freight forwarding service. I created the inspection service. I created our bookkeeping service. I created the Amazon AI software. I created a sourcing service. I created a listing creation service. It's like a one-stop shop. I actually can't think of anything that we don't do that an Amazon seller would need. That's why I call it an ecosystem. Can you tell us about the ad spend limits look like for a 7-figure seller? Well, we try to be under a 10% tacos. So whatever our top line revenue is, we try to be at, 10% tacos, which is total advertising cost of sale, meaning that 10% of what, like 10% of this, even though this account runs at like a 7% tacos, but let's just use 10 to keep the numbers simple. We wouldn't be spending more than $360K to achieve that. Wish I was in your program specifically for that forwarder. Yeah, we actually just made an upgrade to it the couple weeks, or no, literally, I think I was still in Idaho last week, Panagodius. So we already had rates that beat everybody else. Again, I've never seen a freight forwarder who is able to beat those prices in terms of cost per kilogram, but we established like some new channels and stuff like that where it just completely crushes it. Right now we're averaging anywhere from like 50 cents to 70 cents a kilogram. To give you context, I got a quote from my manufacturer for the last product that we launched of $2,065 for 300 units. That was from the manufacturer shipping. For the freight forwarder that I created, those same 300 units, we got a quote for 904. That's an about a little over $1,100 savings. Imagine you're shipping 3 to 5 orders a year on Amazon and you're getting huge savings like that. It's 100%. What is your opinion with a first-time seller selling a product for $129? Should I test cheaper product to start? You just have to understand the ins and outs of a higher ticket product like that. You're likely going to have a lower conversion rate than if you sold a like $40 product. I don't think that, like, one of my students started launching with like $180 product. That was his first product that he ever launched, and he crushes it. I think he's, upwards of like 50K a month in top line revenue at a 30% profit margin after everything. Do you purchase your products from Alibaba? A large majority of them, yes. But remember, you're not getting products from Alibaba. You're getting products from manufacturers who are on Alibaba. It's kind of like Amazon. You're not buying products from Amazon. You're buying products from sellers like me who have their products on Amazon. 129 is too high and too risky. Start off with 20 to 60. I would say 30 to 60. I think that's solid. Do you still drink alcohol? I'll maybe indulge like anywhere, maybe like 5 times a year. So I'm not like completely gone from it, but I also don't. I have to be careful with my wording. I also don't do it to lose my senses. It would be like very casually. I never am like losing my senses, like partying type or anything. Like, we were just in Idaho for like a week, and a lot of the people that I was there with, they're really big on that, and so it was like a 7-day bender for them. I think there was just one day where I indulged, and then for the rest of it, I like to have my senses. I don't like to wake up feeling not good. I went to the gym while I was out there still, and I just like to be sharp, and I feel like that dulls your mind a little bit. I would say the only vice that I have nowadays is I can't show it, but the Monica Lesinski's. What will we have access to in your program? So many things. Let me read off some of the things for you guys and gals. Just go to the page. There's so much stuff that I honestly not forget, but sometimes I'll miss a thing here or there because, again, it is a full ecosystem. So obviously you have over 100 step-by-step video guides, my exact A to Z process on how to sell on Amazon. You'll also have direct one-on-one access to me. You'll have access to the private Facebook group with over 300 students all on the same journey as you. We have weekly group coaching calls, in-depth lessons on Amazon private label, and all of the calls that we've ever done will be recorded and posted into the curriculum. So for anybody new who joins, you'll be able to go to our very first call and watch that recording. You have a one-on-one call with me, exclusive Amazon content that's only posted to the group. You have access to the AMZ Masterclass freight forwarder, where on average students save 30 to 50% on shipping. You have the product selection option, where I will select your first product for you, or any product essentially. That's an extra charge. You have the AMZ Masterclass listing creation service. You have the PPC Ad Masterclass, the most in-depth guide on Amazon PPC ads out there. I have never had a student tell me that it was not the most in-depth guide on ads that they found. YouTube, TikTok, everything. Most in-depth guide there. We have the PPC ad management service. My team will come in and manage your ads. We have the product inspection service, where our boots on the ground team in China will do a third-party inspection for you. We have the sourcing service, which I just recently announced to my students last week. You also have the bookkeeping service. You have the AMZ Masterclass AI, or the Amazon AI software. We pretty much created an AI version of me. And all of this is lifetime access. So anything that I ever add, you'll have access to, all the new stuff. And I'm getting ready to launch something new this week. My students don't know what it is, so I'm not going to mention it on here until I officially launch it. But we do have something really cool that I'm really excited about, something new launching this week. So that is why I call it a full ecosystem for Amazon sellers. Let's go. He was talking about old lifestyle raised benders. Just curious. Sorry, can you repeat that? Repeat what? You are manufacturing products? No, Alibaba manufacturers on Alibaba manufacture the product. You're not buying the products from Alibaba themselves. Nadia, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. I got my first product, global sources, not on Alibaba. Nice. I mean, as long as you get it, right? How do you customize your products to differentiate the item? Optimizing, changing the design, adding bonus items, increasing the quantity. I don't see competitors selling an upgraded version of the product. Nice. What's the price of your course? Again, not a course, ecosystem. But to find that out, hop on a call with my team. You can go to the TikTok bio, apply on the mentorship site, hop on a call with my guy, Adam, and you guys will be able to find that out. Ad spend is currently limited to 500 by Amazon. Do you bother contacting support to increase this? It's not limited to 500. I don't know if maybe that's because you have a new account, but even on our new accounts, we don't have a limit on ad spend. That could be something on your account. Is everything included with the mentorship, or are these features add-on / extra? So everything's included to students, but there's some things that would be like that it's not going to come free. Like the inspection service, you pay for the inspection service, but again, our inspection service beats any inspection company on Alibaba. Your listing creation, like you would pay to get that done, but that's by the same team who creates my listings. We also have the same thing with the freight forwarder. Like you're going to pay for the shipping, but you're going to save on shipping versus any other freight forwarder. So, and another thing is we don't really upcharge that much on any of the services. A lot of them, except for one, we run at cost. So they're really just services that were created to help out the students. So yeah. I used those Amazon Insider Note services before, those WhatsApp services providers. It kind of works, but that's just my experience. Haven't used them in a year. to find a new one. Last was a Dubai number. Yeah, it's kind of hit or miss. I'm assuming you're talking about those emails that I provided. It's kind of hit or miss, but we have had some good experiences with it. So I'll be working in the oil fields. Is it possible to manage my Amazon business completely online? Yes, you could manage it from anywhere in the world, essentially. I was just in Idaho. I was managing the business. Same. I actually kind of took a little bit of a hiatus. I didn't work too much out there. Well, at least not on Amazon. I was in Tonga and New Zealand for a month. My business ran the same as if I was here in Cali. Mommy, thank you so much for the follow. Sorry, how do I chat with Adam? So I'll just show y'all really quickly. Let me close out some of these tabs. Hold up. So you would come over to the TikTok bio. You would come over to the AMZ Masterclass. It's going to be the top one right here. This one is my new book that I put out, if you guys ever wanted to check that out. And then here's the mentorship site. You guys can watch this video. You guys can also go through, see everything that you will get. We actually have to update this because, like I said, we added some new things this year as recent as last week. You'd click yes, I want to apply. We have this quick questionnaire. You could fill it out in 2 minutes or less. Obviously, fill it out proper. I'm just showing you guys how to get there. And so you make sure that you answer this accurately. I'm going to hide this part so I don't dox my information, like my phone number and email. And then if y'all qualified for the mentorship, because we do not accept everybody, you'll be prompted to this page here, where you're going to see this calendar, pick a date and time that works for you, and then you'll be able to talk to my guy, Adam. Adam is an AMZ Masterclass student. He's also an Amazon seller himself. C or air DDP for first bulk order. I always do C shipping. There's some cases where I know some people will do air shipping if they need like inventory right away. Really depends on the size of the product, but I mostly always do C shipping. So that's the move. I do fast C shipping as well. So there's slow C shipping. That'll be about like 35 to 45 days. But we do fast C shipping. So it's anywhere from like 21 to 30 days. So a little quicker. Most of the time, your product will get there in a month or less. Air shipping is too expensive. Again, there's some very rare cases where people will do it just to get some units there right away, but in most cases you're gonna overpay. That's another. I don't talk about this mistake very often, but my first ever order that I did from China, luckily it was a lighter product, so it wasn't like a make or break, but I didn't understand a lot of the things that I do now. So I actually did air shipping for one of my first orders from China. That wasn't my first product. My first product was was manufactured here in the States, actually down here in California. But for one of the first products that I got from overseas, I paid air shipping, and that was not smart. I feel like I need a mentorship. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think if you guys feel that you're the type of person who needs like that extra guidance and stuff, then it's a great option. And that's not a bad thing. I was one of those people who needed extra guidance. I wouldn't be in the position that I am today, A, if it wasn't for God's plan. And B, if my cousins didn't mentor me. They helped me along every step of my journey in the beginning. So yeah, I definitely needed mentorship when I first started out. Nothing wrong with that. What up, KS? Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. Also, y'all, this has been a great live back. I think this is the first official live back in the office. So I love it. Like I said, been traveling. Make sure you follow Luke Basha Travels for all of my travel content. But go show some love to my last few videos. I know I've talked about the mentorship a bit, but I do still have a lot of free information and a lot of valuable content that you guys can use if maybe a mentorship isn't in the cards for you. Like last video I posted, how to find a sourcing agent. Second to last video, how much work does it take to start on Amazon. Third to last video was just a little silly travel video I made. And then fourth to last video, when you should get a trademark when selling on Amazon. Missed you all week, bro. I learned a lot on my own when you were gone. Hope you enjoyed the trip. Nice, Panagodius. Yeah, I tried to go live out there for like a little bit on one of the days, but we were in the middle of the forest on the lake, so the service, even with Wi-Fi, was just not it. I was on Wi-Fi and everybody's like, "Bro, we can't hear you. It's lagging." And I was just like, "Okay, nobody can even hear the answers to my questions properly." So I just took an 8-day vacation from live. That's the longest I haven't gone on live in years. Even when I was in Mexico, Greece, London, Tonga, New Zealand, all these other countries, I still was able to go live because the service was solid, but not in Idaho. It was not solid out there. We went up to Montana one of the days, and which was one of my favorite travel days I've ever had, even with all the countries that I've ever been to. And we were like straight up in the middle of nowhere doing a 15-mile bike ride. It was pretty sick. You guys will see that. I'm going to post the Tonga videos on my travel channel first because TikTok finally didn't flag them. Thank God. Because I posted them here first, and then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to keep these things separate, Amazon business and then travel. So TikTok was flagging them. Finally got them to post today. So I'll post all of those Tonga and New Zealand videos, and then I'll post videos from my Idaho trip on Luke Basha Travels. Do you do private label or wholesale? I do private label all day, every day, and I've been selling since January 2019. So a little over 6 years now. January 2019. I'll always remember that month, and I remember it to a day. I launched January 1st, 2019. But I always remember that day, I'll always remember that month, and I'll always remember that year, because that was the month, day, and year that my life completely changed. I didn't quite make it then. It's not like I could pay my bills or anything, even with the success that I had right away, because I was reinvesting back into the business. But that was like the catalyst to everything changing in my life. God's plan. This is God's plan, homie. It ain't mine. But on that note, everybody, one more thing. Oh, don't do that. Hold on. There we go. Again, make sure y'all go show some love. I have over 1,000 videos on my TikTok going over all the steps on Amazon. But for those who do want a more in-depth guide, check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship in the TikTok bio. Go show some love to my last few videos. Posted a new YT video, YouTube video today, so be sure to check that out as well. Working on a supplier to source an accessory in my bundle, is that okay? Yes, it is okay. Just have the manufacturer from the accessory, send it over to the manufacturer of the main product, and make sure that the main product manufacturer is able to package it properly. But on that note, everybody, God bless you. I hope you all have a blessed rest of your day, a blessed night, and I will see y'all, God willing, tomorrow. Peace.